The Five Unions: Unicornus, Anguisse, Vulpes, Leopardus, and Ursus. Disclaimer: in the course of making Book of Dawn, our team needed to operate on a set of working hypotheses to conceptualize what was and wasn't allowed by the rules of the Kingdom Hearts universe. This video is our working theory of the nature of unions and Moogles.
It's a selfie stick!
Oh! We're cool! Where's my...
The five unions were created by the Masters to spread their knowledge that the Master taught unto them. But what really is the difference? Ultimately, there wasn't a difference back in the day on Union Cross and Key. The apps just made it kind of a friendly competition between you and other players. However, our team wanted to make some more differences between the unions. We looked at what each character brought to the table as a master and as a person. What each ideology would be. How can you make something unique out of really just a cookie-cutter pattern? Well, each master has an individual walk through life. Everyone has something different that they specialized in and what they were able to teach. Each of the five unions were set to represent the five different paths that the masters each walked through life. Everyone's a different teacher, so at the end of the day, we had a lot to work with for our show. I know this sounds less like a lore explanation and more like a director's choice. Well, crossovers. But what is a union? It's a place to share knowledge, to come together and meet other people like-minded like yourself. Each union was a place where Keyblade wielders under the same master were able to talk, train, and go on missions together. You weren't allowed to go on missions with anyone from other unions, but you were allowed to change unions to join your friends if you wanted to. You weren't locked down into any one union. You were always allowed to change. Beyond lessons and quests, missions and raids, what else could you do in a union? Well, you could buy medals. And here is where the theory comes in. A wielder purchases medals from a Moogle. Now, in the app for Key and Union Cross, there's only one Moogle. But is there? You see, when a Moogle animation for purchasing medals happens, you see the Book of Prophecies, that which generates medals of people from the future. The medals spring forth from the book, and you're able to collect them once you pay the Moogle. But there are only 5 copies of the Book of Prophecies, and those 5 belong to each of the masters of the Union. That doesn't seem to add up, which also led to people believing that there were more than 5 copies. However, A convenient way of looking at this scenario, and what we use in our show, is that there are only 5 copies of the Book of Prophecies, and each union has a Moogle, and each of those Moogles has access to borrowing that master's book. They might not have it all the time, the shop might not be open all the time, but it's a convenient tying up of loose ends. But just because it's convenient for us doesn't mean that it's always true. Let us know in the comments down below, do you think there are more than 5 copies of the Book of Prophecies? Do you think that Moogles have their own copy, or that they're borrowing one from each of the masters? Beyond that, let us know what union you chose to represent yourself. Anyway, until next time, like and subscribe. Hit that little bell for notifications so you stay tuned on everything that we have in store for you. Later, Keybladers!